Did you know that 66% of men lose their hair by age 35? And the thing is, when you start to notice hair loss, it's too late. It's easier to keep the hair you have than to replace the hair you've lost. Why do guys turn to weird solutions or just do nothing when they can turn to medicine and science? Here's a solution. 4hims.com, a one-stop shop for hair loss, skincare, everything for men. Thanks to science, baldness can be optional. 4hims.com connects you with real doctors and medical-grade solutions to treat hair loss. No waiting room, no awkward doctor's visits. It's so easy. Just answer a few questions. A doctor will review and can prescribe something for you, and products are shipped right to your door. So order now. My listeners get a trial month of Hims for just $5 today, right now while supplies last. See the website for full details. It would cost hundreds if you went to the doctor or a pharmacy. Go to 4hims.com/ATH. That's FORHIMS.com/ATH. 4hims.com/ATH.
Tim Kalishaw, Sarah Spain, Bomani Jones, Bob Ryan. How we got here. A first round with 3-2-2 series. If only somebody had advised for patience. Sarah Spain. Real quick, though, when's the last time we had 3-2-2s in the Eastern Conference? It was last year, Sarah Spain. Here's a mute. Also, Capitals, Blue Jackets, time or overtime? And here's another question for you. 297 no-hitters in baseball history, but only one 21-pitch at-bat. What's more impressive?
Serious question.
Not that.
Coincidental or impressive?
It's Around the Horn, the show of competitive banter. Here's Tony Reale.
The patience to get out to a big lead, Cavaliers, blow it, get Sabonis crunked on, stare down a 3-1 deficit, and then the ghost of Kyle Korver bails you out, and you refrain from getting lanced at the end. Because that's what this whole thing's about, right? No matter how well you dress going into a game, you have to weigh whether you go full Lance once you start playing that game if you're the Cavaliers. This was great, by the way, as many pointed out. Lance holding up the ball is the Pacers logo. Tim Kalishaw, start us off. Are the Cavs in control of this, or are the Pacers even with them, or are they getting lanced and everything is crazy now?
The Cavaliers are clearly not in control. I don't know if it's Lance so much as the struggle that is in Cleveland's heads. You got to look at what LeBron's done for 4 games. 32 points, 12 and 8, shooting about 54%, and all they have to show for that is 2-2, and this last one was a struggle. I do think it's weird, excuse me, I do think it's weird that Tyronn Lue went with how much he respects Lance Stevenson. He's a throwback player. He reminds me of guys I played with. I'd be talking about how much he fouls every time he ties up somebody for a jump ball and how he's fouling LeBron, and try to get that storyline going for Game 5. I wouldn't be showing him the respect. But I think that comes out of the fear the Cavaliers have.
Sarah Spain, what's happening here?
I completely think that Ty Lue is onto something, because just like you don't go full Lance, you also don't try to anger the Lance, right? He's already in their heads. Jeff Green said, yeah, it was nothing. I mean, I might have reacted a little because, I didn't want him to do that. But other than that, it was nothing. Yeah, he got you to react, and he continues to do that. That is the magic of Lance Stevenson, and you can find him annoying all you want, but he's very clearly found a way to affect the game beyond just in his play and his excellent defense of LeBron James. Whether or not that's going to end up with the Pacers series win is yet to be seen, but I think that they are as much in this series because of how well their team is playing as much as because Lance is able to find ways to get these guys in their heads.
Bomani Jones?
Hold on, please make Lance Stevenson the Pacers logo. Make him the Jerry West of the state of Indiana. I would love nothing more in this world than that. Now, the Cavs in control of the series? No, the Cavs just have LeBron James. I think that's the only explanation anybody has as to why they're up in this series is they have LeBron James. The question for them is, when is Kevin Love going to show up? Because if I'm not mistaken, in his last 6 quarters, he's got 8 points and 7 fouls. Right? If he's going to be the second best player on a championship team, you got to at least give him 10 points. We're not talking about giving him even 30. Just give him 10, and then we can start working on it from there. But the Cavs they had a game early in this series where they had 10 guys play 10 minutes. That is not a sign of depth. That's a sign of I have no idea what to do with these players that I have.
Okay. And now, Bob Ryan, our basketball Hall of Famer. Set everybody straight, Bobby.
The fact is that the Cavaliers at no point during this season have had any kind of consistent unit expertise. Yeah. No unit has ever survived more than 3 or 4 games. They've been constant shifting of the lineup, trying to find the second guy, the wingman or 2 to augment you-know-who. They still haven't done it, and yet they've gotten this far because of him, all right? Now, that's the way it's going to continue. I see no evidence that it's ever going to change. But however far they go this year, even if it's back to the finals, they are going to be the same thing, searching for the number 2 guy every night. You're right about Kevin Love, of course. He should be the guy, but he's not the guy. Korver came through after 0 for 4 in the first half with his threes. He then makes 4 they need. But nothing's changed. They are here for one reason, LeBron. Now, as far as the other guys concerned, Stevenson, he's a subplot. I don't think he's the reason for the Pacers' success so far in this series, that's not exaggerate his importance. Don't make him out to be more than he is.
Okay, Bomani, you want something you want to address? You can get back in.
Well, the thing for the Cavs is what drove LeBron away in 2010 when he left is you can't ask one dude to make all the shots and make all the passes, and that's right where that roster is right now if Kevin Love doesn't do something.
And Galashaw?
The real question for me is Oladipo's numbers have declined. His shooting percentage has declined. Are they defending him better, or is he just missing shots? Because it looked like last night, third and fourth quarters, he just missed open shots.
Sure. Then, though, the Pacers had other guys step up. I mean, we saw the type of game Sabonis had. Real quick.
17 of his 20 shots were contested, though. So
they're contested, and he had the foul trouble early on in that game, too. When the Pacers were up 1-0 and McMillan took him out of the lineup, and he really hasn't been the same since. Real quick, if we were odds-makering this series here, Sarah Spain, where are you still right now at 2-2?
I'm still giving the edge to the Pacers.
Jones?
Oh, Cavs in 7.
Ryan?
Cavaliers, 65% chance of winning.
Kalisha?
Cavaliers, 58% chance of winning.
Good. I'm glad we got a little bit of the PTI odds maker there at the end. When you're just giving me numbers here, it's not good. You got to give me the odds. Give me the exact percentage. We'll move on. How the Bucks held on to beat the Celtics. How the Raptors slipped and gave it away to the Wizards. They're different than the Cavaliers because what was in play was going up 3-1 and going home. But now these two teams have to deal with demons and freaks, and I think I know you know which team has to deal with each. Giannis's tip and the way the Wiz responded after Beal's foul out and whether either have carryover. That's what we're talking about here, Bob Ryan. Who should be more worried at 2-2, Raptors or Celtics?
Well, all people of reason and intelligence understand that the Celtics have will be playing however long they last on house money. They've been on house money since the first 5 minutes of the season. And here they are. So now they're totally in house money.
Because of the Kyrie injury.
Now, they don't, so they're in trouble. Yes, they're in trouble because they're up against a team that has as many or more resources than they have. The one thing they have going for them in theory is the home court. But I remind you that during the season there was long stretches of time when they played better on the road than they did at home. This is no guarantee either. They're in trouble. Of course they're in trouble. They've been in trouble in theory since the thing started. Mm-hmm. And as far as the other side's series is concerned, Toronto is going now, having lost this game that they should have won and put themselves in a good position. They have to worry about history now. They are carrying a damaging history, and they're going to be reminded of it every second up there. And I think this is a problem. I would not remotely surprise me if the Wizards win this series.
Bomani, if you could start with Toronto and Washington here and those demons that Bob's referring to.
Yeah, the only thing about that is, while you can argue that Toronto has all these demons, they're playing against the Washington Wizards, who were once the Washington Bullets, a franchise that hadn't won 50 games in my life. I don't think that's a franchise that's been past the second round of the playoffs, literally, in my life. Who has more demons than them? The Raptors are in less trouble than the Celtics because the Raptors get to play against the Wizards. And what we've seen from the Wizards in the postseason recently, over recent years, they're really, really good when they play at home. You don't have much to count on from them when they end up going on the road. Now, the Celtics do have the concern that they're playing against a team that has a better player. Right? The best player in that series is definitely Giannis, but at the very least, the Celtics have the best coach who is left in this thing. The Raptors are going against the Wizards, who don't have the best coach that's left in this thing.
Yeah, you've made that one perfectly clear for as long as you've been on our show. But when we're talking about last night and Beal going out the way he did and the way John Wall and the Wizards were able to close out that game, what were you thinking, Bomani?
I was thinking that after that game, nobody's going to be able to tell John Wall a word after y'all said they were better without him. Beal goes out and he seals the game. And now we get to see how they get along when he comes back around, because that's maybe one of the most fascinating subplots in the NBA. John Wall and Brad Beal, and whether they, actually like playing
each other. Yeah, like playing each other. Sarah Spain, who should be more worried, Celtics or the Raptors?
Yeah, I think Bob Ryan is onto something in terms of expectations. I think the Celtics should actually be more worried about being eliminated by their opponent because Giannis is the best player in that series because they're undermatched and they're basically getting by based on great coaching and running the scheme and being efficient in what's asked of them. On the other hand, the Raptors do have this hanging over of the playoff expectations they haven't been able to live up to. But if you look at that game last night, DeMar DeRozan reverted down the stretch to hero ball and stopped doing the things that got the Raptors to the place that they are now. So as long as they can look at that and honestly admit that that's what got them into this issue with this game, they'll be fine because that team can win with their bench, especially if Fred VanVleet's back. They can win with their stars. They can win with their defense. That's a team that's better suited to win the series if they do the things they're supposed to.
But they didn't win the last two, and Kalishaw turned to you. Sarah just called it hero ball from DeRozan at the end there. Is that what you saw? Is that the same flaw that they've had in recent postseasons?
I think that's accurate. Give her another point because I thought once Bradley Beal got fouled out of the game, I thought Toronto's got to, just do what they do here, and they really kind of fell. They were the team that fell apart after Beal got hurt. But I still think the Celtics are the team that's in more trouble. I said the Bucks were going to win both at home and even the series. I might have said that on a local radio show and not here.
Oh,
That's
you're trying to get points for what you say on your radio show.
The point is they've never really controlled Giannis. They've never controlled Middleton. They're both shooting over 60%. The Bucks as a team are shooting over 50 and over 40 from three. So I just think the Celtics are the team that's really in trouble.
What's the ruling? Thumbs up or thumbs down on getting it right on a local radio show? I don't care what you guys think. It's getting you mute for the self-promotion. I have to talk about something real quick. Giannis at the counter, not seated at a local restaurant 2 hours after a win. That can't happen if you're a Milwaukee restaurant, right, Bob Ryan?
Yeah, but wouldn't it be cool for his legacy if he stood there patiently like everybody else and they'd say, what a wonderful guy he is. Oh, what a sweetheart. I think that would have been the play.
Larry Bird wasn't waiting for dinner.
More importantly, who's going to a taco place called Bel Air Tacos? Come on.
I mean, where else is
First
he?
problem.
Interesting use of the French there for for the taco place. We'll move on. T-Wolves Rockets tonight. And whether there's something to hearing D'Antoni and Harden say they're out of rhythm. Legit concern, Sarah, or something else at play?
Yeah, I'm not legit concerned. The Timberwolves had a playoff record points and threes in this game. They played surprisingly well defensively against a Rockets team that's been so offensively great this season. To me, this just feels like a Rockets team that still doesn't think the playoffs have started. They look at a Timberwolves team that's not well matched to them, and they're waiting to flip the switch, and I think they will.
Kalisha?
I would say there's concern. There's not like Celtics or Cavaliers concern. There's concern they're going to lose another game and have to go 6 games. They've only played one really good game. Harden saved them in game 1 with 44 points, and they only won by 3. Then they played a lousy game the other night, and Minnesota's starting to feel like they can do something against this team. They might win again tonight.
Bob, are you witnessing a team out of rhythm? Are you witnessing a team with some postseason hiccups? What are you looking at?
I'm looking at a team that didn't come into the playoffs just exactly the way they wanted. I said they would go back home in this series 2-2. Then we'll find themselves and we'll win in 6.
Did you say that in a local radio show? I just want to make sure where you said that. Yeah.
I'm looking good. I said that on a podcast. And it's verifiable.
Guys. All right, Bomani Jones, what do you see with the Rockets?
I understand these arguments that the Rockets just don't realize the playoffs have started, but who the hell are they to think that they can look around and just do that? The question that I have here is they've done a lot this regular season by slowing it down and playing a lot of isolation ball, and they've been really good at playing isolation ball. And when the playoffs come around, how much time do we spend killing teams that play a bunch of isolation ball? Let's see how that adjusts.
Okay. We'll take a break right here so you guys can get on your local radio and podcast and make some more predictions, but not do it on air. Taking a break right here. Buy or sell next.
Check out the right time. I say stuff on there all the time.
That's what she said. The right time. The Bob Ryan podcast and Kalishaw and Friends.
Next. You're holding up the line, ma'am.
What did you say?
You're next in line for the water slide, ma'am. Feet forward and enjoy the ride.
Okay, dearie. This does look fun. You melted me. I've melted.
The Wicked Witch of the West on a water slide? Surprising. What's not surprising? How much you could save by switching to Geico.
See what you've done. Oh!
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Buy or sell.
Jazz Thunder tonight.
I'm going to shut that off next game, though. Guarantee that.
Russ on Rubio. But the question is, does Russ have a Rubio problem, a Donovan Mitchell problem, a whole Jazz problem, or does the Thunder just have a Thunder problem? Tim Kalishaw, go ahead.
I think the Thunder has a multitude of problems, and if they're even thinking about shutting down Ricky Rubio's points,
Yeah.
First of all, they need to stop his assists some, and he's going to get those assists. But if they're worried about Ricky Rubio and they're not thinking about Donovan Mitchell and Gobert and Favors and all the rest, they're probably done anyway.
Sarah, Spain?
Yeah, Westbrook has been outscored 23-2 in the fourth quarter. He didn't even take a shot in the fourth quarter by Donovan Mitchell, who's a rookie. So he's got other problems other than making it his mission to stop Ricky Rubio from getting another triple-double, which I think Ricky Rubio is going to take care of on his own probably. In the end, it's the Jazz that's a problem for that team.
Bomani Jones?
Yeah, but part of the problem is if Russell Westbrook can say he can shut it down the next game, that's almost an acknowledgement that he didn't give all he could to shut it down in the course of this game. Otherwise, what exactly is going to change? But they've got bigger problems there, including a decided coaching advantage for the Utah Jazz.
This is your favorite sport. You know, who's got the coaching advantage? Bob Ryan, where do you want to go with this?
Well, I would dispute that there's any significant gap in the coaching there. I think definitely, though, were I Billy Donovan, I would not be pleased that Russell Westbrook is concentrating on this aspect rather than we need to win. We need to do A, X, Y, and Z to win. They have a Jazz problem. He does not have a Ricky Rubio problem.
Sounds like the first part of the panel, at least, is leaning Jazz tonight. Kalisha, is that true?
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. Sarah Spain, go ahead.
Yep, Jazz.
Mm-hmm. Bomani?
Thunder.
All right, Bob Ryan.
I'm going Jazz.
Buy or sell 2, Pelicans. Not one person of your ilk. Pick them to win. Anthony Davis, 8 career playoff games, 32 points per game. Sarah, what's your takeaway from the sweep?
You know what? I'm actually looking at the Blazers side of this. This is their 10th straight playoff loss, and this is a team that was a 3 seed that had big expectations. They're kind of locked into the roster they have now because they have no cap space and they have no valuable trade assets. So you're looking at a team that can't even blow itself up after getting swept in the first round. Congrats to the Pelicans. Anthony Davis is amazing, but if I'm a Blazers fan, I'm more focused on what the heck just happened.
Okay. You're putting a lot of emphasis on the 3 seed there when 3 through 9 was about 2 games difference in the Western Conference. Bomani Jones, how about you?
Yeah, but the thing for Portland is they overachieved to get to where they were in the first place. But you got to remember, if they're overachieving, it's because their talent base isn't that great. But the Pelicans, man, they've got players. They can go into a series against Golden State and have 2 of the 5 maybe best players in the series. And there are not a lot of people that can do that.
Bob Ryan?
The answer to the question is Anthony Davis. The question is which 25-year or older or younger player would be the most important player on the open market where he declared free in the next 5 minutes. This guy has been underappreciated, underrated by me, for example, and I love him to start with.
Sure. You got to get on the podcast and start talking up Anthony Davis. So you've been underappreciating him. How high is his ceiling, Bob?
The ceiling is one of the all-time great
it's the
ceiling.
Roof.
Guy that's going to be,
it's the sky.
It's an all-time great ceiling. It's talking about in 10, 15 years, it's going to be make room for Anthony Davis in the top 10 players of all time. That's what I think we're talking about.
Tim Kalisha.
Okay, if that's the case, here's what fascinates me about Anthony Davis. And I know he hasn't always been able to stay healthy, but not just the number 1 overall pick, maybe the best number 1 overall pick since LeBron, and it's taken 6 years to win a playoff series. That's how hard it is to win in the Western Conference.
Yeah. We also have to say goodbye to the tab because the series is now a sweep. We didn't get enough run out of that tab if you guys are following on the bottom of the screen. This is like an earmuff situation for some young viewers, but it's more like cover the eyes. We'll move on. Buy or sell 3, Game 6s. Bruins, Leafs, Capitals, Blue Jackets. Let's start with that one. Caps, Blue Jackets is mesmerizing in its complete disregard for timing. 4 overtime games so far. Tim, can the Caps close it out tonight now that they have some momentum, or do you believe that doesn't even apply to a series like this?
I'm going to sell them closing it out. I would buy that they have turned the series in their favor. They've shut down Panarin the last 2 games, and that's the key to it. But any series that's already gone to overtime 4 times, it's got to have a lot of hockey life. We need a Game 7.
Sarah Spain?
You know, I was tempted to besmirch the name of the Caps in the manner in which they've disappointed their fans over and over. But me talking about how the Caps never get it done ignores the facts that the Blue Jackets have never won a playoff series. And they've also never forced a Game 7. So why would I go against the Caps? Caps are going to get it done.
Jones?
I mean, because of the Capitals, that's not to say that you don't have a very good point in the thing that the Blue Jackets haven't done anything, but you're asking me if I'm betting on the Capitals, probably not. One thing to know for the Blue Jackets, by the way, 0 for 12 on the power play the last in that stretch. If they can get one of those, maybe, just maybe, they could win this game.
Yeah. I guess the questions become, would you rather have never won a thing, or would you rather have lost every time you tried to win a thing? Bob Wright, how about you?
I am well aware of their well-earned reputation for Jaggerama in the playoffs, but this is the year they're going to alter that trend, and they are going to close it out in Game 6.
Anyone want to pick on Bruins Leafs real quick as we get a horn here? Just yell it out so I can get you tomorrow.
Leafs, Bruins 7. Bruins is 7.
We got a Leafs closing it and Boston closing it out. Okay,
that's right.
7. Sarah Spain, I think you were our 3 seed today. You were our 3 seed, yet you did not reach the expectation.
Because I just did a 3-peat.
That's got to be this
one. You did have a 3-peat coming, and Jones has done too. Kalish Ryan, this is an OG showdown. Next. Kalish Ryan showdown. Good luck, gentlemen. Last time we had a repeat Stanley Final, 2009. In play again right now. Penguins Predators advancing. Whose advancement this weekend showed you more, Tim?
I got to go with the Penguins. Every game they won against Philadelphia, they scored at least 5 goals. That's a throwback to 1980s hockey. Nashville struggled a little more than I thought they would against the Colorado team. Nobody figured for the playoffs, so I give the Penguins the edge.
I'm going to figure that Philadelphia is more the story than Pittsburgh in that series with regard to the goals against. And I'm going to go with the team that won 5-0, 5-0, 5-Z, 5 goose egg coming in with momentum. And I like the Nashville Preds. And I'm rooting for a Nashville-Las Vegas all atmosphere series.
You would have had me if you went with Squadouche, Bob Brown, but I don't know. 28 goals scored in a series by Pittsburgh. I think that'll get them and Tim Kalish show the point. Showdown 2, stay with me now. 429,928 baseball games in history, started by pitchers. There have been 297 no-hitters. One was thrown by Sean Manaea this weekend. There have been 16,158,098 plate appearances in baseball history. And since they started tracking them 30 years ago, roughly 3 million. And only one went 21 pitches. Brandon Belt's major league record. Bob, impressive or not so much?
It's the kind of extraordinary, irrelevant minutia trivia that makes baseball wonderful. I loved it. I love the idea of it that would take a guy all these many years to get the 20 pitch at bat. It would have been nice if he ended it with a base hit or a home run, but he didn't. But I don't care. It's extraordinary.
You can love
Bravo,
the idea of it, but nobody wants to watch a 12-minute at bat when it's all foul balls. I blame Bob Ryan's Red Sox and the Yankees. They started all this 15 years ago with Derek Jeter's deep at bats and all that crap when they were rivals. We don't want to see that. Put the ball in play. Do something with it.
So you're saying
true outcome.
The one in the 16 million that we know went to 21 at-bats is not impressive to you? The one in 16 million. That, give it the point and the FaceTime to Bob Ryan. It's a 1 in a 16 million chance, Bobby. Go for it.
Now, you're aware that Central Florida has already proclaimed themselves to be the national champions of football. They've gone far now enough to give themselves championship rings, Super Bowl-style rings. Not only that, the local campus police have adorned on the side of the car national champions. Hey, all right, I'm going to tell you, if you want to name yourself something, fine. I, for example, have never won a Pulitzer Prize. Very unjust. I am declaring myself a Pulitzer Prize winner, and I'm going to have a ceremony. And all your invitations in the mail.
Let's
and
announce
you can dress casual. If they can do it, why can't I do it? I am a Pulitzer Prize winner.
Tim, can you announce that on your local radio? Sarah, can you tumble that?
Yeah.
Bomani, can you put that on your MySpace? There we go. We'll see you tomorrow.